The Danny Johnson Show. Today we're talking about you and your money. You know, wealth is created little by little. This is something that my husband and I, unfortunately, we had to learn kind of the hard way. We were those people that paid full price for everything and spent all that we made. We were living paycheck to paycheck, no matter if our income was little or if our income was a lot. We continued to just blow money like crazy. But I have this friend who is like a discount. I'm trying to think of a thing to call her, but I don't think I will. Anyway, so I have this friend who's an amazing negotiator. I mean, wow. I don't know if it's because of her culture. She is Sri Lankan and they're used to negotiating everything, even though she was born in the United States, raised in the United States, but there's just something that she picked up from her parents, as well as from traveling all over the world. And that is she negotiates everything. This woman has found ways to travel the world really inexpensively. She's managed. In fact, I have literally watched this woman negotiate for hours just to save a couple $1,000s or a few $100s. This woman has a boldness where she is not afraid to ask for the loophole. She's going to ask tons of questions to find out where is that little hidden discount that she can get, where is that leverage that she can find, which for some, they look at that and they think, gosh, that's ridiculous. It's a waste of time. It takes too much time to do that. And in other cases, others are like, man, that's pretty wise. That's really, really wise to look for every possible loophole and looking for ways to save money. I got to tell you this is really interesting. There was a study that was done according to news.com. In a single year, one woman saved 12% a month on her electricity bill, $200 buying through classified ads, saved $6,000 negotiating on a property, $300 on insurance that she saved because she negotiated it, $2,000 on an air conditioner installation, and almost $300 switching internet companies just from negotiating and asking for discounts. That's almost $9,000 that this woman saved because she had the boldness to ask those very important questions. Now, she obviously had to have made some friends on the phone while she was doing this because she obviously had people willingly being able to negotiate with her and get her the discounts. I can tell you this as a business person, if we did not have good negotiation skills, we would be raped and pillaged by the marketplace. Not only that, for example, with our first steps to success and creating a dynasty and hot marriage secrets seminars that we do all over the world, we have done these, that if we just paid, okay, you call a hotel and they tell you it's going to cost $20,000 a day for the ballroom. All right, great. So the event is 3 days, plus we need our setup day. That's $100,000 almost. That's $80,000, 4 days, $20,000 a day. Plus they want to charge you, up to $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 just for an internet cable to be dropped. I mean, the list goes on of all of the extra costs that they want to charge you for moving a chair. They want to charge you $1,000 for a whiteboard that doesn't cost $1,000. Do you understand? So we believe strongly in having negotiation skills. In fact, we're going to have here shortly a negotiation expert to teach you how to negotiate. Jan Potgieter, he's been a faithful client of ours for 5 years. He's used First Steps to Success to advance his corporate career. He's a businessman, paid off $260,000 worth of debt using our war on debt system, completely restored his marriage. The one area he could not negotiate was his marriage. He could negotiate huge contracts with Adidas and Nokia and things like that. And he actually teaches people how to negotiate. I can't wait. He's actually teaching classes on how to do it. He's a faithful advertiser here on the Danny Johnson Show. And so anyway, so many of our clients are learning from him negotiation skills. And so anyway, is it important to negotiate or do you think that it's not a good idea? Some people think that it's just not worth it. Other people think that it is really worth it. I do know this, that if I had not trained our team to negotiate with those hotel contracts, the price of First Steps to Success would be $5,000 a ticket. That's the only way we'd be able to stay in business. But because our team has learned to negotiate with these hotels, we managed to be able to keep our costs down to a tenth, 10% is what we're able to charge for our ticket price because we have really good negotiation skills with these hotels, which they look for every opportunity to fully like just keep raking up the bill. And then, you know, we wouldn't be able to do the events unless we charged you $5,000 for a weekend. And if it was $5,000 for a weekend, guess what? You wouldn't be able to do as many of these particular events and wouldn't be able to learn as much, wouldn't be able to connect with the community as much. So we're able to do it for a tenth of the price because of negotiating. But we asked our audience how they felt. Do they ever negotiate prices and ask for discounts? Why or why not? So we've got Heather from Arizona, who, girlfriend, it's got to be hot over there.
Hi, Danny. Yeah, it is pretty hot over here.
Yeah, this is probably as hot as it is over here. Hot. Can someone say sweating, even with an air conditioner on? Okay, so what about you? Do you negotiate for discounts or negotiate for a better price or not?
I do not, no.
Tell me why.
Because negotiating, you brought up 2 points. The first is negotiating and discounts are part of a lack-based mindset, which is brought on by fear, where you do not believe at a very core level that there is more that's going to come in. For example, if you are breathing, obviously we both are, you're not negotiating on a discount on the, air.
The air.
And yes, I mean, we're not like, oh my gosh, I can only breathe so much air because it's going to go out and someone's going to charge me more. And the universe is not going to stop supplying air for you, just like the universe will not stop supplying abundance for you.
Right.
The other point is that you brought up is greed. These hotels and people are not aligned with their true essence, and they're also in fear, which is why they're driving the price up.
Right. Right. So, okay, so I hear what you're saying, that negotiations can come from a lack mindset. I can tell you that I know some people who negotiate, it's like fun. It's like sport for them, right? And the fact is that companies often are trying to see if they can get the max. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to get the max, and sometimes it's because of greed. Sometimes it's not because of greed. You and I really can't judge somebody's heart. We have no idea if it's a lack or fear-based motivation that causes someone to negotiate, or that it is causing someone to see if they can get the highest possible price for their product or for their service. And so where I agree with you is not walking in a lack mindset, but at the same time, can I tell you something, Heather?
Yes, of course.
The same person that I know who, I think everything has to do with what you're doing with those negotiation skills. And so I know someone who negotiates everything. I mean, absolutely everything, right? Just as it's sport for her. But at the same time, she's also not somebody who has accumulated any wealth at all. And why? She hasn't worked towards it. It's more of the sport, which is almost could be, I don't know, because sometimes negotiating can also come from a place of greed, not necessarily a place of lack, but it can come from a place of gain versus loss, right? And so when I look at ourselves and the places we negotiate, so for example, I negotiate because I want to feed more orphans. And I'm not going to spend $100,000 to put on a training seminar. Just not going to do it. I'm not going to take that $100,000 and pass it down to my clients. Not going to do it. I believe in helping people get out of debt and becoming financially free and putting money away for their future. And so I used to live that there's going to be money out there. There's going to be money in the future. I don't have to worry about the money in the future. I'm not saying worry about the money in the future, but I am saying this. Be wise with what you have now, because that increases your odds for more in the future. That if we're faithful with the little and what we have, and we negotiate that well, then we are setting ourselves up to be rulers over much, much more. But I hear you. Some people negotiate for lack because of it coming from a place of fear and a place of lack. It all boils down to the motives. Not everyone who negotiates is negotiating from that position. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, yes, the intention and where it's coming from.
Yep. And so some negotiate because it's fair, meaning there are people who rack up their prices just because of the way you look. Have you traveled around the world?
I have.
Okay. So, have you ever been in a country where they know you're an American and they instantly triple the price?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So what do? You give them the triple the price, or do you negotiate?
I just tell them the truth, which you could look at that as negotiating, but I also understand
What's the
where they're
truth?
coming from.
What do you mean? What's the truth?
The truth is that they see me as from another, an ignorant American, and so, oh, I can get more out of you. That's greed.
Yes. So I guess you are negotiating. Because you don't want to be taken advantage of, right?
Correct, yes.
Exactly. Exactly. So I find that negotiating, especially when you travel abroad, is like a really important thing. Really, really important. So I think it all boils down to the motives, no question. But I hear what you're saying. I love what you brought up about it being from a place of lack, because if you sow with lack, you're going to reap lack, and whatever you hand out is going to come back to you. But there's nothing wrong with standing up for righteousness and fair market value for something. That is a very important thing, is negotiating for fair market value. All right, we've got Rochelle from Alabama. Hi, Rochelle. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Danny.
Hi. So what about you? Do you negotiate and ask for discounts?
Everywhere I go.
Do you really? Why? Tell me why.
Well, one of the reasons why is I am a military vet. And so there are discounts in place at a lot of different venues that are geared towards the military.
Yeah, that's true. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's military discounts and senior citizen discounts?
I think it's more of a complimentary, a thank you to contributing to society, really. I mean, with regards to the elderly, there's so much that they've imparted in the generations past them that has helped mold and shape the world. And, we could debate whether that's good or bad. But
yeah, we can.
Right?
Or do you think it's just a marketing ploy? Do you think it's a way for companies to get the military dollar or to get the senior citizens to buy?
Oh, absolutely. It's by advertising it, yes, definitely. And also the fact that, again, like I said, again, for me, it's always been people would, oh, yeah, thank you for your service. And I have to admit, though, there is one statement that I received a lot when I asked for a discount and I'm told no. I'll actually have people apologize to me for it.
What do you mean?
I'm so sorry, we don't. They'll I'll ask them, do you do military discounts? And they'll tell me, oh, I'm so sorry, we don't. My company just doesn't do that. And I always feel upset when I hear them apologizing to me. I am not entitled to a discount. And I think a lot of times people who hear other people asking for discounts, it can come across as, well, are they entitled to that discount? No, I am not entitled to that discount. But I do ask, because if that discount is there and in place, I would definitely want to take advantage of it.
You know what, Rochelle, I gotta speak to what you're saying, because I can tell you, like, we have our pricing already really low and discounted, meaning a fair market value for our training seminars, First Step Success, is $5,000 for a weekend. That's according to the experts. That's according to the value placers of the kind of training and development that we do, especially from the kind of results that we do. So it's $5,000 is what we should be charging for First Steps. So our discounted price is $599. So it's like 10% of what we should be charging. And I have to tell you, it does rub me sometimes the wrong way when somebody says, hey, can I get a discount because I'm a Christian? Like, what? Is there a student discount? Wait, yeah, there is a student discount, and the discount is $4,500. Yes, there is a military discount. It's $4,500. Yes, there is a Christian discount. It's $4,500. You know what I mean? So sometimes, like, when somebody has already, like, offered something at a very low price, when somebody does come out and wanting, and it's usually, I got to tell you, I love what you said. I love your attitude about this, that you do not feel entitled to the discount. I have had more people that come from mostly the evangelical church who have this expectation that there should be sponsorship, that someone should sponsor me into this training seminar. And you know what the sad thing is that when somebody does, they don't get the value out of it. They just clearly don't get out the value from it. But then that in itself is an entitlement. It's like some people have made it sport to negotiate just for gain versus for what's right. Do you know what I mean? So like in our case, like our seminars are ridiculously low price. The value that people get is far more than what we're charging for. And why? Because we are targeting a specific market that we believe in. We're targeting for the everyday average person who is going through some hard times, who's frustrated, who's hardworking, who's teachable, and just wants more out of life. And if the ticket costs $5,000, well, then there's no way they could participate. And meaning that that's like, you know, a third of their income for the year. Or if we did charge $5,000, we've got a totally different group of people in the room. You know what I mean? Like that's a different customer, and it's not necessarily the one that we are targeting and that we're looking for. The one that we find that we can help the most, that we want to see get up to a six-figure income, is not in that six-figure income yet. We want to change that number in that 98% of helping people get over to that six-figure place. And so they've got to have some kind of skin in the game. So I love what you said. There is a difference between being entitled, thinking you're entitled to the discount versus that discount actually being a blessing. So I will tell you that I believe in negotiating. I really do, but I believe in fair market value, and I think that's where the line needs to stand. Because one, I believe that if you're just doing this for sport, well, that's called manipulation. If you're doing it because of a lack mindset, like what Heather was talking about, you are always going to be in lack if you're negotiating because of your lack. But if you're doing it for fair market value, because you know they can offer that to other places, as I know hotels do. Hotels definitely give a ballroom for free. I've seen them do it hundreds of times, and they do it for certain kind of circumstances. Well, then if they can do that for them, they can do it for us. Fair market value. The other thing is that we are fighting for the poor, which is why we negotiate on everything that we possibly can, is because we are fighting to take care of 18,000 orphans every single day, because we're fighting to put 6,000 people in a home who are homeless right now, because we are fighting to give water to 900,000 people who are going to die today, this week. Their children are going to die because they don't have clean water. And if we don't negotiate good prices and we don't give fair market value, well, then they're not going to have that. So listen. There is a chance. Now listen, wealth is accumulated little by little. And so if you kind of learn, to me, the moral, the righteous way to negotiate, then those savings, like this woman who saved $9,000 in a single year because of negotiating. Did you know you can negotiate your electric bill? Did you know you can negotiate an air conditioning service? Did you know that you can? Look at the boldness of Rochelle. She asks wherever she goes, right? And Rochelle, I would say don't limit yourself just to a military discount. Maybe there's some other discounts that you're not even aware of. You can search the internet, surely, for there's all kinds of discount codes and coupon codes that are perhaps for the things that you need. I'm not talking about buying stuff you don't need. I'm talking about for stuff that you actually need. Things that are necessity, bare minimum need to survive. Not all of these luxuries that you probably should be staying away from until you pay off all of your debt. So on this Money Monday, friend, let's learn this together. Use righteousness and fair market value, high moral standards, integrity as to what you negotiate for. Okay? And make sure that it's not about manipulation or by sport. And it's not coming from a place of lack, because you will reap what you sow. And wealth is created little by little. So you look for every opportunity to get those discounts. But in the case of Rochelle, what are you doing with a discount? If they gave you a 10% discount, what did you do with that 10% you would have spent? Well, that 10% should be going, that 10% you saved should be going towards your debt. Spend it as though you didn't get the discount. So that 10% off of that $100 item or that $50 item, that's $5 and $10. Take that money and put it towards your debt. So everything you negotiate, everything that you're able to negotiate, whether it's electric bills, air conditioning services, whatever it is that you're negotiating, take the discount and make that discount make you money versus, I got this cheaper than I should have. Come on, that's ego. That's pride. Use the discount to accumulate wealth. And if you're paying off your credit card, friend, you're saving 18.9% up to 29% of interest that you would have been paying the bank. Hello, they're using your money as a slave, and you're a slave to them. You're a slave to the lender. So you can stop that by, yes, negotiate some discounts. Don't be taken advantage of. Take what you have saved, pay it anyway as though you paid the full amount and take that and attack your debt. Or if you're debt free, take that and put it in an asset account so that you can buy a rental property, right? You can get involved perhaps in some stocks, collecting dividends on a monthly basis. There's a number of things that you can do to get your money working for you. Don't just absorb the discount. I want you to still spend that discount towards creating wealth, because wealth is accumulated little by little. Do you want to learn more about how the wealthy have accumulated wealth little by little? First Steps to Wealth. It's free on our website. Download your copy right now. You do not have to spend your entire life broke. You want to get out of that like mindset that Heather was talking about so brilliantly? First Steps to Wealth is going to help you get through that, as well as start to accumulate wealth little by little. One of the things, paying off your debt, which doesn't sound fun, but this book turns it into fun. It inspires you in such a way that now it's a game. Now it's sport against your collectors, and now you're going to win that game and become totally financially free. Can you imagine writing that last check for your last mortgage payment or your last car payment or the last student loan? Imagine it, friend, because the book is going to show you the plan, step by step, how to be able to do it. So get your copy today. If you go to DannyJohnson.com, the book is right there, absolutely free. If you want a physical copy, you can check into getting your physical copy by you taking care of the shipping, and we'll send you the $15 book. All right? That's it for us today. Please share today's video. It's really important. People need to hear this. They need to hear this. They need to get out of lack. They need to get into creating wealth. They need to use their negotiation skills and maybe learn some negotiation skills so that they can save over here, but take that savings and put it towards developing assets that are going to pay them for generations to come. All right. Thanks so much for having us. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DannyJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been The Danny Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.